Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Pointing to the Cross. And I want to talk to you about a passage in Philippians chapter 1. But before I get there, I want to set it up with a little story. One of my coaching heroes, who's now gone home to be with the Lord, great Christian guy, and I used to love to go to clinics that he was doing, and he was so gracious to sit and talk with coaches afterwards. And I remember one night I was talking to him, and I'd just been passed over for a job that I'd interviewed for. And I was talking to him about it, and sometimes you feel like you're never going to get your big chance. And he looked at me and really didn't register with me at the time, but he just said these words. He said, "Make the big time where you are." And I'm using that to set this up because, sometimes we're not where we want to be in life, in ministry or our job or whatever, but God has put us in the positions that we're in for a purpose. And maybe we can't handle the responsibility of a bigger job or whatever, but God's put us where He wants us, and He expects us to be faithful in the station that we're in. And to use Don Meyer's words, make the big time where you are. And here's Paul. He's sitting in a prison, and he's under armed guard, and he makes this statement. In Philippians chapter 1 and verse 12, he says, "But I want you to know, brethren, that the things which happened to me have actually turned out for the furtherance of the gospel, so that it has become evident to the whole palace guard and to all the rest that my chains are in Christ. And most of the brethren in the Lord, having become confident by my chains, are much more bold to speak the word without fear." And then he goes on later on and says, "Hey, even some of the guards that are guarding me are getting saved." And I actually got to witness to Caesar himself. So Paul was put in a position that to most of us wouldn't really seem like the big time, but he treated it like the big time. And he went there to fulfill God's purpose for him. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, whatever station you are in life, God has put you there for a purpose. The Bible says if we're faithful in little, He'll make us Lord over much. So therefore, wherever you're at, don't get discouraged. Just be the best at what He's given you to do, and follow the steps of Paul. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Pointing to the Cross.